Hello, Mark. My name is Joy Li Chengxuan, and my student number is S04410115. And I'm a junior from the Department of English. And the speech title is For the Love of Bird. And the speaker's name is Wachira. With me here today, I brought something beautiful. This is a feather from one of the most beautiful birds we have in Kenya, the crested Guinea fowl. But this feather is more than just that. If you take time when you are outdoors to look at the feather around you, you will have noticed that there is a huge variety of different sizes, shapes, and even colors. The feather is one of the most astonishing pieces of technology invented by the natural world, and for centuries, this feather has helped birds to keep dry, to keep warm, and even power fly. Only one section of the tree of life can actually make a feather. Among of the world's animals, birds are the only one who can make something like what I'm holding today. I personally have given them a nickname, and I like to call them the feathers maker. It is a major difference between birds and any other animals we have on Earth. And if you can make a feather, you cannot call yourself a bird. Laughter. For us humans who are earthbound, birds represent freedom. Its feather has enabled birds to conquer gravity and take to the air in an extraordinary way. Don't you sometimes wish you could fly like a bird? Birds are my passion, and I want to change the way each one of you think about them. The easiest reason I love them so much is because they are beautiful. There are 10,000 species in the world, and each one of them is uniquely beautiful. Birds are amazing, and this talk is dedicated to all the birds of the world. Laughter. Applause. Indeed, these birds have been part of our life and culture all over the world for centuries, and every society has a story about birds. You probably have heard childhood stories of different birds and how they relate with man. I personally recently learned that our human ancestors would follow flocks of vultures, and then that would help them to identify where carcasses have been dropped by large carnivores, and these humans will scavenge and eat part of their meat. Birds have been used as brand and label all over the world. You know the bald eagle? It was chosen as a national emblem for the US because its majesty, strength, beautiful looks, and even a long lifespan. And just like us humans who have managed to live in virtually all habitats of this earth, birds have also conquered the world. For birds such as this beautiful penguin that live in the cold ice caps, to even others like the larks, who live in the hottest desert you can imagine. Indeed, this species have conquered this world. Birds also build houses like us. The real pros in house building are a group of birds we call the weaver, and this name they were given because of the way in which they weave their nest. An interesting one, birds also love and date just like us humans. In fact, you will be surprised to know that males dress to impress the women, and I will show you how. So, here we have a long-tailed widow bird, and it is how they would normally look. But when it comes to the breeding season, everything changes, and this is how he looks. Audience murmur. Yet, birds also. multiple species of them, do love to touch and cuddle just like humans. And I know you are well wondering about this one. Yes, they kiss too, sometimes very deeply. Applause. Some have even learned to cheat on their spouse. Laughter. For example, the African jacana, the females with mate with multiple males, and then she takes off to find other males to mate with, and she leaves the male behind to take care of the chicks. Laughter, applause, and birds help us so much, and they play every crucial role in our ecosystem each day. Wachira clean up our environment by literally digesting decomposing plankton, and they finish carcass that would otherwise cost a lot of money to clear from the environment. A sizable flock of vultures is capable of bringing down a carcass the size of a zebra straight to the bone with just about 30 minutes. Owls help to rid the environment of rodents, and this helps us a lot because it saves us money. We don't lose our crops, and secondly, we don't have to buy harmful chemicals to handle these rodents. The beautiful songbirds we see in our environment are part of nature's pollination crew, and that help our plants to form fruit. Together with other pollinators like insects, they have actually helped us to get most of the food crops that we depend on for many years. Unfortunately, the story of birds is by far not perfect. They are faced by numerous challenges every day wherever they live. Top on the trade fencing bird is habitat loss and reduced food availability. Birds are also hunted, especially migratory species and ducks that congregate in water bodies. Poisoning is happening to flocks that like to stay together, especially in places like rice schemes. Moreover, power life are electrocuting birds, and wing frogs are slicing birds when they fly through the blaze. Recently, we have heard the talk of climate change making a lot of headlines, and it's also affecting birds because birds are being forced to migrate to better breeding and feeding grounds because unfortunately where they used to live is no longer habitable. My own perspective toward birds was changed when I was a small boy in high school, and there was this boy who struck, injuring the wing and the leg of Periwinkle the Angler Bazaar. I was standing there, just a mere 14 years old, and I imagined a human being in a similar situation, because this bird could not help itself. So even if I was hardly any biologist by then, I gathered with 3 of my friends, and we decided to house the bird until it had regained strength, and then let it free. Interestingly, it accepted to feed on beef from our school kitchen, and went hunting termite around the compound for its dinner every day. After a few days, it has regained strength, and we released it. We were so happy to see it flap its wings and fly off gracefully. And that experience changed the way we look at birds. We went on to actually make a magazine, and we called it the Hawk Magazine. And this was in honor of this bird that we have held within our own high school. Those experiences in high school made me the conversationalist I am today, and a passion for birds should especially matter for Africa and all for Africa to all African, because among all other continents, Africa hosts some of the most amazing bird species you can find anywhere in the world. Imagine having a name like shoebill. That's the name of that bird. And there are countries like DR Congo, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya who are leading the continent in highest number of diversity when it comes to the species. These birds continue to provide the continent with every crucial ecosystem service that Africa needs. Moreover, there is a huge potential for Africa to lead the world in avian tourism. The economy will definitely benefit. Imagine how many communities will benefit from groups of tourists visiting their village just to see the endemic birds that can only be found in those villages. How can we help birds together? There is now a chance for all of you to turn off your passion for birds in contributing to their continued survival, and you can do that by becoming a citizen scientist. Citizen science is a growing trend around the world, and we are having scenarios where people are sharing information with the rest of the community about traffic updates, security alerts, and so on. This is exactly what we realized as bird watchers, and we thought, because birds are found everywhere, if we got all of you and everyone else in Africa to tell us the birds they find where they live, where they school, or even where they work, then we can be able to come up with a map of every single species, and from there scientists will be able to actually prioritize conservation efforts to those habitats that matter the most. Take the example these two projects, the Africa Raptor Data Bank, which is mapping all birds of prey in the continent of Africa, and the Kenya Bird Map, which is mapping about 1,100 species that occur in my country, Kenya. These two projects now have online databases that are allowing people to submit data, and it is converted into very interactive website that the public can consume and make decisions from. But when we started, there was a big challenge. We received many complaints from bird watchers, and they will say, I'm in a village, I cannot access a computer. How do I tell you what bird live in my house, or where I school, or where I work? So we were forced to renovate our strategy and come up with a sustainable solution. It was easy. We immediately realized that mobile phones were becoming increasingly common in Africa, and most of the region could get access to one. So we came up with mobile phone applications that you can use on your iPhone or on your Android phone. So we made them freely available for every bird watching enthusiast out there. So we came up with Bird Laser, which is used by Kenya Bird Map, and also we have the African Raptor Observation, which is now used by African Raptor Data Bank. This was a huge breakthrough in our work, and it made us get enormous amount of data from every birder out there in the region. With this, we realize that citizen science is indeed very powerful. The reason being, citizen science is adaptive, and we were able to actually convert many bird watchers to start sharing new information with us. When we were starting, we didn't know that bird could be a huge gateway to approaching conservation of other forms of animal. Interestingly, now in the virtual museum for Africa, we have made for dragonfly and damselfly butterfly and moth, reptile, frog, orchid, spider, scorpions, and yes, we are even mapping mushrooms. We could have imagined mapping mushrooms, so this shows us that indeed we create a community of people who care about nature in Africa. I hereby call upon all of you to join me in promoting the value of birds within your community. Please just tell your friends about birds, for we are always inclined to love and care for that which we know. Please spend a few minutes in your free time when you are at work, at school, or maybe at home, to at least look around you and see which beautiful birds are there. Come join us in citizen science and tell us the bird you are finding in the places where you visit. Even simpler, you can buy your child or your sibling a pair of binoculars or a bird book and then just appreciate how beautiful these birds are. Because maybe one day they will want to care for the one which they know and love. The children indeed are our future. Let us please teach them to love our feather makers, because the love of birds can be a huge gateway to appreciating a form of nature. Thank you very much. Applause. Thank you.